Excellent. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Badge. I'm your host, Steve Fecto from Talent Development and Learning. And as our audience starts to and continues to file in, I just want to welcome you all. We got a spectacular episode for you today, another 19 excellent stories to share. And I just wanted to give a little prep because I know many in our audience are newbies. Every single episode is a new audience because you're here to cheer on perhaps a family member, a colleague, someone on your team that's being honored today. And this might be your first time. So let me share a little bit more about Beyond the Badge from that opening video. These are stories from the system Daily Huddle. Every single day, one senior leader in an executive system Daily Huddle has the chance to recognize an employee. They get together, there's this very important meeting. They're going to make sure we have a high quality, safe, and excellent day here across the health system. They huddle up to ensure that. And there's this pause where one leader has the chance to recognize one employee with a story that inspires them, whether it's a patient letter that they received, an incredible peer-to-peer star recognition, just a remarkable story or a special project that's been worked on that they say, this represents everything we strive to be at Mount Sinai. This story, this person, this team is just exceptional, and I want to share this story. Now, those are shared to that executive leadership team, and we collect them thanks to our partners who lead those huddles, Swati Garg, Hillary Polly, Joseph Mary. They collect that month of stories. These are the stories from December of 2024, and they pass them along to us so we can bring those folks on stage and allow you, their family, their friends, their colleagues, their leaders to join in celebration of these excellent stories. So welcome to all of you newbies who are here for your first time. And I also need to say thank you to our regular audience. You are the folks that come a month after month to come back and hear more of these stories. And that is our leadership team. Our senior leaders come always, month after month, to just absorb these stories and be inspired by them. And so I love to start every episode by calling a couple of them who I know are in our audience and we've checked in with in advance. So two that I'd love to give a chance to say hello and greet our audience. I'm going to start first. We're going to go out to Mount Sinai, Queens. We have Dr. Cameron Hernandez. He's the Executive Director and Chief Operating Officer at Queens, as well as Senior Vice President and Professor of Medicine, Geriatrics, and Palliative Medicine. Cam, good to see you.
Hey, how are you, Steve? I'm very, very excited today. I can't wait.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I'd love to give you a chance. I know we're starting with the Queens team, but beyond
Yes,
that, there's lots of great stories to share, and I'd love to give you a chance to say hello to and greet our audience.
I'm biased. We should always start with the Queens team. But anyway, I'm really excited to see all of the faces of the stories that I hear every morning, when I'm on the huddle. We hear these amazing stories from all the leaders, like you said, and now I'm going to see some faces to put to those names. I really want to thank everyone here, especially the families who've gotten on to support their loved ones, as well as our leaders across the institution who have, brought these stories forward to us. Um, you know, Recognition's a huge thing, within an institution, within a system. And I think that having this Beyond the Badge is a way to have a cornerstone mark within a health system of how to make a better culture for everyone. And bringing these stories forward really makes it possible for everyone to really understand how this institution thrives on what we always want to do is keep the patient at the center of everything we do. And you'll hear that a lot of that today in some of the stories that we hear. Here at Queens, recognition is something that we work on a regular basis, and we actually put it on for our goals. And so we have a major goal this year in terms of increasing the number of recognitions that we do across the health system because we feel that the culture changes and we want the culture to be as inviting to staff as it is to the patients. And who doesn't want to come? Who wants to come to work and not be happy? We all want to come to work, have a good time, take care of our patients, do what we need to do so we can go home and take care of our loved ones and have a great time. So again, I'm really excited about today's Beyond the Badge. I'm want to see the faces. I want to see the love that I keep seeing all on the side of the screen here, that everyone keeps pressing all the buttons. I love doing that when I'm on this. I'm in the background usually and pressing the buttons left and right, sort of thing. So I anticipate that everyone will do that. And thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Hernandez. And now I'm sure a lot of that love is for what you're saying, because what you said is beautiful, but it's also a lot of hearts. So I think might have to do with why you're wearing some deep maroon. I've got my rare chance to wear my red suit is because what is today, everyone? Keep those hearts fluttering. Put in the chat, you know what today is, or I'll reveal if you don't know after our next guest. Go red, right, Mariana? It's Go Red Day. It is Go Red for women to bring about awareness of heart disease in women. So we're all wearing our red today in support, and I hope you all are too out there. And if anyone is part of our Mount Sinai Heart team, feel free to add some extra cheers and comments about that and awareness for heart disease in women into our chat. I want to go to another one of our leaders who's wearing red as well, as I saw. I'm very excited to be here. Is Lisa Stump. She's our Executive Vice President and Chief Digital Information Officer, as well as the Dean for Information Technology here at the Mount Sinai Health System. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, Steve. Thank you so much. I'm just honored to be with all of you here today. I want to join Cam in thanking everyone who's on the call today. I've only been here at Mount Sinai now a couple of months. I'm new here, but the spirit of collaboration and teamwork and commitment to our patients, our communities, and each other was so palpable to me, even as I was interviewing and considering the opportunity here. And it was one of the drivers that drew me to this opportunity. And I'm just incredibly thrilled to be here and to be joining all of you. I can't wait to hear all of the, I know will be amazing stories from our colleagues, from our clinicians, and all of our employees who are living our values every day.
Yeah.
And, I contribute, in my career through technology and data. It's, often that high tech view that I and my team are focused on. But we never lose sight of the real human connections that are the important part of why we are here. And to know that one of our team members in the digital and technology team is being honored today, like, exemplifies that. Sometimes in technology, we feel when everything's working, people sort of forget about us. And when it breaks, we hear from you. And so very just thrilled that there's recognition when we are an active part of the team. And it is, as a leader, the vision and the expectation that I do put out there for our team, that we never lose sight of the experience of our patients, our clinicians, the faculty, the students, the researchers that we're privileged to serve. So I want to personally thank everyone for welcoming me, but the culture and climate that you've all created is going to be demonstrated in the stories today. So I look forward to jumping into that.
Well, thank you, Lisa. And it's so
Thank you
wonderful
all.
you get to be here as one of our new executive leaders here to really absorb these human stories, get to know the people. There's behind every one of these stories is a real person who's just doing exceptional work out there. So you nailed it on that human connection. And we're so excited for you to hear all of the stories we're going to share. Now, I got to tell everybody, this is our season 3 finale, actually. December stories. We've been doing this for 3 years. We started January 2022 stories. So I'm gonna change my background here for a moment here as I speak about this. These are just a collection of the photos from season 3 alone. We had over 240 stories shared, 140 photos I have. 40% of people are camera shy. That's what I've learned doing Beyond the Badge. So many photos, so many people, so many stories, and each month gives us this opportunity to see another collection of folks. Over 3 years, we've had over 700 stories, and there's no lack of stories to come because every day something new happens. New patients, new families, new work, new growth, new programs, and 48,000 individual stories to share. So we will never run dry. Thank you to those who've been with us for 3 seasons of episodes, and we look forward to kicking off season 4 in March, on March 7th, with our January stories of 2025. Also, before I go into our first story, just a quick highlight. Use that chat. My colleagues have been saying make sure you switch it to everyone. If you're saying hosts and panelists, our audience doesn't see it. So if you're cheering on a colleague, Even for our people backstage, you want to cheer on the people you're hearing, make sure you set that to everyone. Flood that chat. Use those emoticons. Let's have some fun sharing these stories. And I want to send it out. And just so you know, the people reading the stories are the members of our patient experience team and employee engagement team. There are committee members who are truly dedicated to celebrating our people, to employee engagement, to employee experience, to employee recognition. So thank you to them as they share the stories. Give them some extra thought and love because they are truly dedicated to bringing these wonderful stories to life at their locations. And I also got to give a shout out to Alyssa G and Andrea, Michael Joseph, and Jessica Rubin from my team backstage in talent development and learning, making sure every episode runs smoothly. We've got a lot of stories to go. They're going to bring up my first honoree. We're going to go out to that Mount Sinai Queens team. This is in our appreciation by patient section. So I'm going to have Zach Key from Queens come up to read a story that included messages of appreciation for Donna Smith-Jordan, Camille Ahmed, Danielle DeCunto, and Dr. Jeffrey Levine. I think Donna might be the only one representing today from that busy team in an emergency department. So Donna, we're glad you can make it. And Zach, I'll turn it to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. So the story reads, I had to be taken to Mount Sinai Queens last Saturday. My mom called Donna Smith Jordan, who, even though it was her day off, called my mom back with the people I need to see when I get there. Thank you, Donna. You're such a wonderful person, and I appreciate you very much. Triage nurse Camille Med treated me like I was a queen. He was funny and very soft-spoken and listened to why I was there with concern. I have never seen a nurse with such compassion. After I complete high school, I'm going straight to nursing school, and I definitely want to have the same bedside manner as Camille. Daniela Cunto was also great. She knew I was scared and took the time to explain every step of what she was doing to do before she was going to do it. Likewise, I think Jeffrey Levine knew I was shy and spoke so gently and made me feel comfortable while examining me. I am truly grateful and blessed that I was able to meet and be treated by four amazing Mount Sinai professionals. Thank you, Mount Sinai, and Dr. Ugo and Dr. Abella for hiring such amazing professionals. Hopefully, when I graduate from nursing school, you can hire me.
Yeah, I love that. Already wants to come work at Mount Sinai thanks to the experience you gave, Donna. Now I know I heard you're in an area where you can't come off mute in the emergency department, and that Zach is going to speak on your behalf here. So congrats to you and to your team. And Zach, if you want to speak on behalf of Donna and this wonderful group in the emergency department, I love picturing that your emergency department is like a classroom for nursing students. What would you say is the lesson about the experience provided in the Mount Sinai Queens ED that is a worthy lesson for students to take on?
So first of all, big kudos to our ED team. But when you really hear the story, it's nothing about the physical clinical care that was given, right? It wasn't about how this person treated me and treated my illness. It was about how they treated with compassion, with listening, and made them feel comfortable. So at the end of the day, the big lesson is that it's not so much the clinical care you give, but how you provide that care and the tact that you give it, that bedside manner. And the other thing that stood out to me in this is that most people that get into healthcare get in for one of two reasons, right? Number one is that they are just compassionate human beings that want to help. Or number two, it's that they were inspired by somebody else to be in healthcare because they saw someone else do it, right? So as leaders, as people that work in healthcare, we have a profound impact on really highlighting the great work that we can do to inspire that next generation. So I think the other piece of this is just inspiring the next generation of healers that come.
Wonderful. Thank you, Zach. It looked like Donna was agreeing with what you were saying about her and her team, and you might have some support around you looking in and nodding. Thank you to all of you in the Mount Sinai Queens Emergency Department. A really wonderful patient letter, Donna. Thank you. All right, we'll see you in a little while. Zach, we're going to go off to Mount Sinai West. Andres Marrera. There was another team. I think we have Seda Lerman is here. Joan Crawford was also recognized. And Deidre Dantzler, we're going to share this part. She was a travel nurse, was with us for that brief time when this patient experienced their care, but she's moved on. But I know we have Seda, and we're going to hear this story from a patient at Mount Sinai West.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve. A patient spouse recently wrote, quote, "I want to express my sincere gratitude for the exceptional care my wife received during her challenging delivery and postpartum care at Mount Sinai West, and highlight the extraordinary efforts of three individuals who had a profound impact on our experience. Deidre's attention to detail, encouragement, and optimism were unmatched. Her bright and genuine spirit brought comfort and motivation to us during some of the more difficult moments. Sada's patience and kindness were extraordinary. She was incredibly attentive, ensuring that my wife could rest while carefully timing her check-ins. Her warmth and calming presence brought us so much peace. Joan brought such joy and warmth to our experience as well. Her encouraging words and comforting demeanor reminded us of family, and her presence truly brightened our stay. If it were up to us, these amazing individuals would be lifelong friends because of the deep impact they had on our journey to becoming parents.
Yeah, really nice letter from our patients. And Seda, when you are part of so many of these life-changing experiences for families every year through your work, how do you find a way to keep that experience unique, memorable, and personal for each patient and family?
Thank you so much. I want to first say thank you for this recognition. I'm very honored to be here today. I feel so lucky as a nurse to get to meet so many wonderful and unique people at my job. When I come onto a shift and meet my new patients for the night, I like to start off with getting to know them outside of just their medical care. For my nursing practice, it's really important to me to get to know them not only as a patient, but as a person first. Thank you so much.
Really beautiful, Seda. I know that's inspiring our audience, and that is what makes an excellent story to celebrate here at Mount Sinai. That is absolutely impacting the patient experience, and it is so wonderful to hear you speak with pride about that aspect of your nursing care. Thank you, Seda. Congrats. And thank you, Andres. Andres, we're going to be back to you in a little bit for another West story. But for now, we're going to go to Mount Sinai downtown. Nydia Sanchez has a story that was from a patient at Chelsea, the Blavatnik Family Chelsea Medical Center for Dr. Caitlin Carr. So let's bring in Dr. Carr and Nydia Sanchez to read that story.
Hi, thank you, Steve. A patient wrote the following to appreciate Dr. Caitlin Carr, one of our gynecology oncology surgeons at the Blavatnik Family Chelsea Medical Center. Overall, this consultation has positively shaped the way I see Mount Sinai. Dr. Carr was clear about the risk, potential outcomes, and what needed to be done. When I brought up my goal and concerns regarding surgery, she assured me my health would be prioritized. In addition, she explained in great detail what would be done to protect my health and potential fertility. I just moved back to New York and I'm living here for the first time as an adult. I am very happy with the care shown at Chelsea and would likely turn towards Mount Sinai facilities in the future should I need other care. We want to thank Dr. Carr for her care and concern for our patients. She is a true asset to Chelsea and all of Mount Sinai. Congrats.
Yeah, really nice. And how much does it say and how you built trust with this patient that they are saying, now I'm all Mount Sinai. I'm all in. This experience with Dr. Caitlin Carr has me sold on everything Mount Sinai, which is so special. So you provided such exceptional care to this patient. What do you feel you bring to that patient experience that makes the biggest difference in building that trust and their confidence in your care?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me. And I think, yeah, to be recognized by our patients, it's really the biggest honor of all. I'm so happy to be here. And a huge shout out to my team at Chelsea. And some of them are on here because these comments are not possible without them. Stephanie, my nurse, she really makes this work for me. So I think that's a really big part of this question. As a gynecologic oncologist, I provide surgery and chemotherapy to women with gynecologic malignancies, and I can't do that without building trust. It's so fundamental to providing exceptional care. Focusing on active listening, ensuring I fully understand their goals and their concerns, and being transparent. If you're transparent about diagnoses, treatment options, and potential outcomes, I really can give them empowerment for their informed decision making. And really, the patient-centered approach with using these two, it fosters collaboration, it fosters trust, it enhances their confidence not only in my care, but also in the Mount Sinai Health System.
Yeah, and absolutely. So this is why I love Beyond the Badge. It's a classroom too. We learn exactly what makes a difference, and we hear it straight from the patients in these letters. And hearing you speak about what it is you do that builds that relationship with the patients is just gold to all of us to be able to hear. And it's clearly making a spectacular impact on our patients. Thank you, Dr. Caitlin Carr.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you, Nydia, as well. We're going to go out to Mount Sinai, Brooklyn next. We have Craig Murphy as our next celebrant, and I'm going to have Katrina Bravo come on up for this story about Craig. Hi, Craig.
Hello. Thank you to everyone who's been recognized. And on behalf of Mount Sinai Brooklyn, I'm happy to present the patient care associate, Craig Murphy, is a leader and a friend to the patients and staff on One North. He is the unit falls champion, kind and compassionate, always ready to lend a helping hand, and steps up to take charge in difficult patient situations. Craig's exceptional performance is recognized by patients as well. A recent patient who is also a retired nurse wrote, "I would like to give Craig Murphy, PCA, commendation for his excellence as a nursing assistant. His program really taught him well. Craig is respectful, kind, good-natured, and honest. He is like that on his own, and the school that he went to just brought a tiny little more out of him." Mount Sinai Brooklyn is proud to have Craig as part of our nursing team, and we are so happy to recognize him today.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Katrina. And Craig, when a retired nurse notices something in your interactions that they believe is attributed to the excellent training and education in the field, I mean, first of all, I think it's great when who's going to be our biggest critic is people who spent their career caring for others. And to see how exceptional you are is already a great compliment. What would you say? What are the best practices in the care you provide that you feel must be making the difference for this patient to respond this way and really for all your patients?
I like listen to patients and sometimes they have difficulties, expressing themselves. You just have to give a listening ear and be helpful and respectful to them. Because sometimes they have a tendency to rant and rave. Sometimes, you need to listen to them because sometimes you just need a listening ear, a friendly ear to listen to.
Wow.
So,
Well,
and
Craig, I mean, what you said there and what I'm hearing is this not just listening. Like, it's very easy for us to say, obviously, listening is so important. But what you said to start, like, sometimes they have difficulty communicating, expressing themselves.
yes,
It's a deeper listening that you're providing. You're giving them the time to rant. You're giving them the time to get to what their real concerns are. And that
that's
is
fine.
above and beyond listening. That is deep, committed listening. That's spectacular.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Craig. Congrats on hopefully you really enjoyed hearing from the patient letter, and we're so glad we got to share it here today.
Glad.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
And thank you, Katrina. We're going to go back to West. Andres, come on back. We got it. This is from the ambulatory leadership at Mount Sinai West. They recognize Miguel Rodriguez. Let's bring Miguel up. Oh my God. Turn off that blurred background. They've got what? Pom-poms and plates and balloons. Miguel. Love it. All right. Keep cheering as Andres reads this story.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Miguel, and so exciting to see your team behind you. So, a patient recently shared her heartfelt experience with Miguel Rodriguez, a medical secretary in breast surgery, expressing immense gratitude for the care and support he provided during her journey. The patient was deeply nervous about an upcoming surgery, so much that she rescheduled her surgical date twice. Her anxiety stemmed from fear and uncertainty. In these vulnerable moments, Miguel's actions stood out. He listened patiently to her concerns and consistently made her feel heard and understood, helping the patient feel safe during such a vulnerable time. Through multiple interactions, Miguel demonstrated unwavering patience and attentiveness. For the patient, these moments of calm and professionalism were transformative, fostering trust and reducing her anxiety. The patient emphasized how Miguel made her feel valued and important in every single interaction. His thoughtful communication and respect contributed significantly to her sense of safety and trust in the care she was receiving. Congratulations, Miguel.
Yeah, really nice. And we're back to listening again, that not just that surface listening, but deep listening to understand what those anxieties and fears are. I hope your team could hear the story being read. I know you're on the headset. Can they hear it?
Yeah, they can. I have the
Okay, good.
audio on the speaker, so they can hear everything you guys are
Excellent.
saying.
Woo! All right, well, thank you for supporting Miguel. And thanks, Miguel, for supporting our patients through very challenging care experiences. So, I would love to hear from you, Miguel. Can you share with us what you find makes the biggest impact and meaningful difference in the care you provide to this specific population of patients in breast surgery?
Yeah, of course. So, first of all, thank you for having me here. I want to start by saying that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my team over here. Um, Now, I do believe that the most meaningful difference in the care that I provide to our patients is making sure that they feel heard and understood because they are going through a completely new chapter in their life that needs compassion and sympathy. This specific population of patients go through a roller coaster of different psychological emotions due to not knowing how to cope with their diagnosis. So I'm very glad to be there for the patients that need that additional support.
Wow. Well, Miguel, thank you so much. You're keep cheering in the background for him. I mean, I just absolutely love this story. It is so heartfelt, and to hear you speak with pride about what you bring to each patient experience as they're going through a very difficult time is profound. And I'm so glad we got to all hear this patient letter today. Thank you. And thanks for being such a supportive team. And I'm sure you are for your team as well, Miguel. Teamwork is so critical as one of our Mount Sinai values that we just love to see it. So thank you. And thank you, Andres. Okay, next up, we're going to the network practices who recognized another nurse, Miko Santa Ana. We're going to go to Miko and Rebecca. Come on up and share this story for Miko Santa Ana and our network practices.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. So a patient wrote to express sincere appreciation for their remarkable nurse, Miko Santa Ana, sharing that she had been instrumental through their ongoing treatment for bladder cancer. They write, Miko exemplifies the qualities of respect, empathy, and professionalism that make a profound difference in a patient's journey. The nature of my treatment is highly personal and challenging, and Miko has constantly shown the empathy and technical skill that made me feel safe and supported. I felt certain that Miko was the only individual I was comfortable with for this sensitive procedure. Her exemplary bedside manner and dedication have transformed an otherwise challenging experience into something much more manageable, and I'm truly grateful for her presence. Please extend my gratitude to Miko for her kindness, skill, and commitment to quality care. She serves as a shining example of the high standard of care I hope all patients are fortunate enough to experience.
Yeah,
Nice
thank
job,
you.
Miko.
Thank you, Rebecca. And we're hearing in these patient letters that people being very vulnerable about the challenges they're facing as patients and the empathy that they're receiving from our staff, which is remarkable. And Miko, this patient says they feel certain that you were the only one, the only individual they were comfortable with for this sensitive procedure. How do you build that level of trust with patients that help them feel safe and supported in their care with you?
Thank you so much, Steve. Well, first of all, thank you so much for this honor. I really can't do any of this without my team at Mount Sinai, so I want to thank them for that. But yeah, so when I'm meeting these patients, especially when I know that I'm going to be doing their chemo installations, I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time with these patients. I'm going to be getting to know them. And I always remember that this is such a vulnerable time for them, such a vulnerable place for them to be in. And so really, I just do whatever I can to make them feel safe and make this process as easy as possible for them and just build a trusting and personal relationship with them while still being myself. And, even just remembering small details goes such a long way and they really appreciate it. So when I move with those intentions, it makes the process that much easier and better.
Yeah. Really wonderful, Miko. And we think of our safety value. Where's my values here? We think of safety value and we think of patient safety. And we had Craig, who's a falls coordinator, and good hand hygiene and everything we do to create a safe experience. And you remind us that safety value is also about helping people feel emotionally safe and cared for and trusting the people who we're working with. And we can think of that safety value in the same way. And you said it was beautiful. I know you're getting lots of love in the chat. I know your team wanted to come on screen. They're like, can we have a full episode from Miko? We want to talk all about her. So they're cheering you on in the chat. But thank you so much, Miko. And thank you, Rebecca, for sharing that letter. All right, we'll see you a little later, Rebecca, for another story from the network. Now, we have a couple of stories. If you're following along in the program that you see in our resources tab, lots of great stuff in that resources tab. Our event program, there's our link to star recognition where you can submit a recognition for a peer. Little bios about each person in the speaker section. We're going to skip the next couple. Both our stories of excellence folks are out saving people with their capes. These are the one-time stories of excellence. And they both are not here just yet. We're going to keep an eye out for Sheena Brown and for Liana Ruiz. And as soon as they get here, we'll go back to them. So let's move on to our employee spotlight section for now. Follow along with us. People are live and taking care of patients out there. So that's why we're flexible. We're agile. Whoop, there, I've got my values everywhere. Agility value here. And we're going to go to Leslie Etwaru from Digital and Technology Partners at Mount Sinai South Nassau. And so we'll go to Olivia from South Nassau to share this story.
Thanks so much, Steve. Leslie Etwaru is one of our senior directors in Digital and Technology Partners at Mount Sinai South Nassau. Les is an extremely valuable member of the team who is seemingly available 24/7. We're not sure when he sleeps. Les is intelligent, professional, and always able to problem solve to get things done. Most recently, the staffing office and nursing leadership teams expressed their appreciation for Les and his team when the first Mount Sinai South Nassau department merged to mountsinai.org emails and computer software. The preparation was provided with detailed instructions for a smooth transition. As per usual, Les and team did not miss a thing. They were present and ready to assist at 6:30 a.m. and available 24/7 throughout the week. We cannot thank Les and his team enough and are so grateful to have him as a part of the Mount Sinai South Nassau family.
Yeah, thank you, Olivia. And this is so important as we see the wonderful messages from our leadership and Dr. Brendan Carr about One Mount Sinai. And a lot of the effort around One Mount Sinai is in aligning our systems, and Digital Technology Partners plays a big part in that. And your help in supporting your leaders through a transition in some of those systems is exceptional. So Leslie, I'd love to hear how your work on this specific project is a reflection of the commitment you make to supporting the Mount Sinai South Nassau community in all of the work that you do. And you're on mute. Come on off mute for us.
Yeah, thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Steve. And I'm truly honored and humbled to receive this, recognition, and I congratulate all the other recipients as well. I think that, for working here at South Nassau and now part of Mount Sinai, it's really the clinicians and nurses. They're the real superheroes, and I think I'm inspired by them, seeing what they do day in and day out for patient care, that I try to give them the best user experience as possible so they can have the best patient outcomes that they can provide for their patients, which is the patients for all of us. So I'm grateful to and thankful to leadership that they allow me to be a change agent and help, give them the best experience possible, and for my colleagues who, are on the journey with me and support me on the day in and day out to get all of these things done. So again, thank you for the recognition. It means the world to me, and I'm, grateful and honored to do this day in and day out for this team.
Really, really wonderful, Leslie, and thank you for sharing that. And it's what people love about hearing from the honorees themselves is hearing what drives someone to be excellent, and to hear you make the connection to the patients in the work you do, and supporting the people who impact those patients in your role is that kind of inspiration that we can all remember. Remind yourself there's a patient at the end, and the work that I do impacts those patients. So to hear you speak with pride about it is spectacular. I know a lot of South Nassau fans are out there cheering you on, a lot of Digital and Technology Partners fans. I think even Dr. Adi Sharma's out there cheering you on. So thank you for all you do, Leslie. I know you got a proud community out there that's thankful to have you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right. And thank you, Olivia. We're going to go next to Janice Hodge. She's from our ambulatory care call center. I'm going to have Sadiqa Horn come on and share this next story for Janice. Hello, Janice.
Hello, hello.
All right. And Sadiqa, let's hear the story for Janice.
Hi, Steve, and congratulations to all honorees today. Today, I would like to honor Janice Hodge. She's been with Mount Sinai since 2017, but in March of 2024, she joined our team in the ambulatory care call center with enthusiasm and eagerness to learn. At that time, Janice was new to the call center environment and inexperienced on how the call center functions, but she challenged herself to learn and did not give up, even when she was doubtful. With determination, along with the help from the rest of her teammates, Janice quickly learned our workflows. Since then, Janice has been a great addition to our team, and we appreciate her positive attitude and her kind nature. She always handles all of our callers with patience, empathy, and utmost professionalism. We thank you for being part of our team, and we look forward to more great things from you, Janice. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadiqa. Janice, I'm in talent development and learning, so I love a story that highlights learning and growth and demonstrates how that process takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes determination, and this story kind of captures that for you, how you gave that patience and determination to learn this process. So now as being someone who's confident and more experienced, if someone was to start in your call center today, what is the advice that you would have that would help them be successful? What did you learn through that experience that helps you be at your best in the work that you do?
Sure. Well, first, I just want to thank all involved for choosing me to be a part of this platform. I'm very appreciative of that. And I would also like to thank my managers at the call center.
I wanted to give a special shout out to my manager, Maggie, who was very supportive and encouraging to me at that time. And I also want to say a big thank you to my daughter, Kelly. I would come home and she would say to me, Mommy, you got this. You know what I'm saying? When I felt like I couldn't, I said, I don't know. It's a lot of information. I don't know if I can do this. But as time went by, it got easier. It's all about repetition. And there are a lot of updates, daily updates at the call center. There's always things that are changing. And I'm a visual learner, so I like to write these things down. So if I would encourage someone to get a notepad and just write things down, and that way you can look back at it. And I'm a true testament to that because I'm here and I'm doing well. Thank you so much again for acknowledging me today.
It's really wonderful, Janice, and I love that you have that support in your life. To have a manager who's supporting you and being patient with you and helping you learn, and to have the family support that says you got this. And how clearly, if you're here today, you've got this. You're excelling and doing exceptional work, and I know your leadership is proud to have seen your growth and to be a star on the team today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Really wonderful. I'm going to keep my eye out for those stories of excellent stories for Liana and Sheena. As soon as they get here, we're going to go back to them. Our next section, though, we got a lot. This is, Cam Hernandez talked about it at the beginning and said, we all have a role in expressing appreciation. They're doing more and more. They want more recognition as a goal for this year. You have the opportunity to do that. We have the Star Appreciation link in our resources tab. Anyone can recognize a colleague at any time and say what they're doing that inspired you, that you are appreciative of. It can be a single example or it could be overall. Share that recognition. This is our biggest section of this month. There were so many peer recognitions that were so spectacularly written that they ended up being shared on the System Daily Huddle and now today. So we got a big section. One person who couldn't be here is Sherlyn James. You can find her story in the program in the stories and writing section. She is in the emergency room out at Mount Sinai Queens as well. And she's known there as the nursing office's guardian angel and the ER's best friend. So if you want to read more about Sherlyn's story, you can find that in writing in our program. But for now, I'm going to go to Amy Nelson next. And we have a story for Tony Annenson. And so Amy will bring Tony up and you can share this story.
Thanks, Steve. Associate Director of Nursing, Tony Annenson, has been instrumental in elevating clinical quality in the Mount Sinai hospital-based faculty practices and the Derfner Foundation Ambulatory Surgery Center. Tony is a kind, collaborative, and curious leader, which has made her so successful in working with the practices to develop and implement new and enhanced quality processes. She is extremely agile and constantly goes above and beyond in ensuring that our teams feel supported to do their best work, leading to several star recognitions from the practice leaders saying, Tony is always available whenever we need her clinical insight and has helped the department tremendously in best practices. Another says, her willingness to do anything and everything to bring safety to our patients while eliminating stress for the employees is commendable. And one more reads, Tony is extremely knowledgeable, a wonderful leader, and always helpful. From emergencies to celebrations, Tony is a teammate you want by your side and is truly a pleasure to work with. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Amy.
Oh, very nice. And several stars. And that's what happens when you get to the Beyond the Badge. It's often because senior leadership is seeing many, many stars coming in for the same person who's receiving them over and over again. So, Tony, from this story, along with your commitment to clinical quality, you are recognized for being kind, collaborative, and a curious leader. And curiosity is a value we really do encourage in many of our training programs for leaders, being curious, collecting new ideas. So I'd love to hear how you use curiosity, how your curiosity leads you to get the best results in your work and with your teams.
Well, I think I always approach in the practices, I get to know people and ask questions about their workflows. Then we need to see how we can integrate some process improvement or additional safety enhancements into that workflow without being too disruptive. And I'm a leader too, who I'll get dirty with them. So if we have to go and do cleaning, if we have to do reorganization, special projects, I love to do that. So they know that I'm somebody that will step in and actually do the work when they need the help. And that's the best way for me to train as well. So it's just worked really well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Tony. I love the story. I love that the peer appreciation is coming from staff and other leaders to recognize our leaders as well. You know, our leaders receive the stars for their employees. We get 20,000 or plus star recognitions every year. So I know you're always, I'm sure, proud to see them coming for your team. It's also nice to see people recognize great leadership when we see it. And you're absolutely excelling there. And we're glad we got to share some of those star messages we received.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Amy. We're going to keep things moving. We have Charlinda Boone also. We're keeping an eye out for her. I'll say this. I did see a Liana in the attendee audience. Liana, if that's you, Liana Ruiz, and you want to come back, give us a chat, and we'll bring you forward to make sure we go back to that story. But for now, we'll go with who's here. I believe we have Andrew Hargadon from Facilities, Mount Sinai Health System Facilities. Recognize Andrew. Here's Andrew. And I'm going to go to my colleague in Marketing and Communications, Kathy Gilbert, who's going to share this story.
Okay, I'm all queued up, Steve. Andrew Hagedorn, a senior facility manager in the real estate division, is responsible for all property management activities at multiple ambulatory office sites in the tri-state and Florida areas. His hard work ethic is reflected in his professionalism, politeness, and technical knowledge, allowing him to excel as a shining star in our department. Through his star recognition, an ambulatory director said, "The team knows we can always count on Andrew, who constantly goes out of his way to help the network. In a recent example, we needed to check for a missing oxygen tank and that we were being charged for monthly at a site that had been closed since January. I asked Andrew to help me find the landlord to get access to the building. Andrew not only got access, but went to the site, found the missing oxygen tanks, took pictures, and even taught me how I could sell some examining tables that we had left. Andrew is essential to our operations team, and we thank him for caring for our building so that we may care for our patients."
Yeah, thank you. And I love that extra step, Andrew. You went and did what was asked, and then you found more opportunities to aid Mount Sinai Health System overall. And saying, yeah, I've got other advice for you. You can sell some of this equipment, and went above and beyond. I also love that one of our next upcoming celebrants is cheering you on too, Carla Moscoso, who's about to be honored. Obviously, you make a big impact with a lot of our practice leaders, and they all know you and appreciate the work you do. So, Andrew, let me ask, clearly, you have this commitment to caring for our buildings, and that's essential in the network's ability to care for our patients. And I'd wonder how you make that connection. How do you personally view your commitment to the employees and to the patients being cared for through the buildings that you manage?
Thanks for having me, everybody, and I appreciate the recognition from all the people that I work with, and especially my Queens site for recognizing my hard work and efforts. Having worked in my prior role with Mount Sinai in the residential division, I see how hard and dedicated the medical community is. So it's just my way to give back. I think response time and follow-up is crucial to having the employees focus more on patient care and me alleviate the burden of any kind of facility issues that come about. So I'm always here to help, and anything I could do to, make myself available. I try to do that. And it's all made possible by the great people that I work with throughout the network and the MSH sites that I have. So I appreciate the recognition, and I congratulate all the others for their recognition as well. Keep up the good work, and thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrew. And I think a lot of our network leaders are seeing you up here and getting excited and saying, I know him. I know Andrew. And they're adding their response into the chat of how much they appreciate you. So I thank you so much for the impact you're making on all of the many teams that you work for and work with here across the health system. And so many
appreciate that. Thank you.
Sites. Yeah, there's some more. They keep coming in. Go back into the chat and read them all, Andrew. People are saying your praises.
Thank you, everybody. Flattering. Thank you so much.
We're gonna stick with some of our corporate roles here, like Andrew, who serves so many. We have our supply chain team is regularly recognized on our system daily huddle. And out of everyone in supply chain for the health system, this month, Umair Ikram was recognized. Let's bring up Umair. And I'm going to have Kathy stay on with us and read this next story as well.
Hey, great. Throughout the major transformation in the way we do procurement through Sinai Cloud, star recognitions have poured in for Umair Ikram. The first month of the go live was incredibly challenging, but Umair quickly rose to the occasion and was able to provide support to the purchasing buyers, leading to star comments like the following. Umair has been a champion in assisting the purchasing staff in navigating the system. He has gone above and beyond to help us. And even though he is also new to the cloud, Umair was able to guide me and get me started on my orders without hesitation. Also, Umair is an awesome team player. He is super patient, smart, easygoing, and has helped our entire team with questions and solutions. The purchasing team has been a major stakeholder in this change, and we thank you, Umair, for your dedication and willingness to help the team navigate through these exciting and challenging times.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. Umair, it was so hard to get your story into a digestible amount because the star list was about this long and we had to take some highlights and trim it down because there was just star after star after star that you're receiving from colleagues that really appreciate working with you. And I love how one leader recognized how this process was new to you too, yet you clearly were one of the first to become an expert in the process. So how did you approach this huge change in a way that set you up for success and the ability to become a confident resource for others?
Thank you, Steve. First, I would like to congratulate all the recipients who are here, and also would like to thank the supply chain leadership who actually believed in me that I would be an asset in terms of learning the cloud before time. And when I joined Mount Sinai back 5 years back, and I was new to the system, and there was the team who actually helped me out at that time, learning the legacy system and helped me out with all settling in within the department. And it feels like to me that it was kind of me giving back to the team. And as the saying goes, that teamwork make dreams work. So I believe on the mantra and try to do the same at Mount Sinai. And as my little 3-year-old says, that sharing is caring. So it's my way of like helping the team, and if someone needs me, so I'm always there for them.
Really, really wonderful, Umair. And you see the flood of people who know you and appreciate you is coming through in the chat. So like Andrew, go off and see this. And I think we see this in Beyond the Badge. There's people who have their tight team, like we saw with a team around Miguel earlier cheering on, and they're that tight-knit family. And then like you and Andrew who work in a system role who support people all over our 48,000 person health system, and you have fans and people who appreciate and feel cared for by you in so many different areas, and that's really cool to see too. So hop off and see all of the fan mail you're getting in the chat, and thank you so much for sharing. All right, thank you. We're going to go out to the network practices again. Carla Moscoso is just thanking people in the chat, and now it's our turn to thank her. She's often been a manager who's had some of her employees be recognized on Beyond the Badge, and this time it's her turn after receiving some excellent star recognition. So Rebecca, I'm going to turn it to you.
Yes, I am honored to recognize Carla today. My colleague Celeste submitted a star recognition for Senior Director Carla Moscoso, saying, "Carla is a wonderful leader. During a meeting last week, she mentioned a quick tip on how to save documents in Teams. As we're often amazed by her broad knowledge of workflows and processes that impact our network, she volunteered to meet with us and share some additional tips and the most helpful settings. Volunteering to chip in and help is very on brand for Carla. If you have a question, she has an answer. If she doesn't have the answer, she will research, connect with the right people, and find an answer. She is the true definition of a servant leader, going above and beyond to help others and bringing people together from various teams and locations to collaborate. The network is very proud of Carla, her dedication to her team, and her ability to build bridges across many divisions at Mount Sinai. And on a personal note, I want to echo everything that Celeste said. She's really great."
I was going to say, Rebecca about exploded when she saw Carla was being recognized this month. I can't wait to read this story. But Carla, so it's your colleagues, other peers and leaders who recognize you as the true definition of a servant leader. How would you describe that? How would you describe the leader you strive to be for your teams and the other queens and network leaders that you work with?
So first of all, I want to thank everyone and congratulate all my fellow colleagues on this panel. And thank you to the network and Celeste and everyone else, and especially to all of my teams. I came from MSH, so I always feel like I needed to connect MSQ and the network with MSH and my connects there. Building bridges is big for me. And besides patient care being top priority, helping and making my teams successful is my second priority. So every opportunity that I come across that I can teach, mentor, I try to do what I do. And when I got the recognition, I was like, oh, I didn't really want to be recognized because I love what I do. I love my job. I love working for the network and MSQ. So, and my teams are great teams, and I just try to be the better example for them.
Well, thank you, Carla. And I know having done this for 3 years, I know there's a modesty amongst the people who are being recognized too. And there's so much going to the team and it's other people, but that modesty also comes from knowing like, I'm just doing what I care about and what I love. And it doesn't feel like anything exceptional sometimes, but from an outsider looking in, it is exceptional. And it's great that we can take this time to pause and say thank you and say that you're exceptional. And like everyone who's being recognized today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla, and thank you, Rebecca. We're going to go out to Mount Sinai Hospital. I'll have Colette Watson come on for this next story for Tiffany Rosas. All right, hi, Tiffany.
Hey.
And we'll have Colette come on up to share your story from Mount Sinai Hospital. Hi, Colette.
Hey, great. Thank you, Steve. Congrats, Tiffany. Thrilled to read your story. So a colleague wrote to appreciate Tiffany Rosas, saying, quote, I wanted to commend you on your extraordinary and exceptional leadership for the Pediatric Cardiac Intensive Care Unit and P4 South. You go above and beyond to support your team to assure the proper support and safe practices. You make yourself always available to your team and your fellow colleagues. You are so resourceful, reaching out to colleagues from different departments to safely support your team with clinical practices that the unit are not familiar with, such as the Swan-Ganz catheter. You orchestrated the in-service of the HeartMate 3 for a patient who was getting an implantation and corralled the staff to assure proper training and practice. You come in early and stay late into the night to assure the work for your team is cared for and everyone is accommodated. You're a compassionate, dedicated, and special individual, and I want you to know it's not going unnoticed. Strong work.
Yeah, thank you. And again, to remind our audience, these are all appreciation from colleagues. These are colleagues and leaders taking the time to say, like, what I'm seeing is exceptional, and I've got to get this in writing, and I've got to share it. And I've got to share it with our leaders and share it with the person who's making a difference and let them know how much I care. So, Tiffany, how does it feel to receive this appreciation for your leadership? And what stands out to you from this message that you're most proud to know is making a difference with your team?
Steve, I've read this a couple of times, this message, and for some odd reason right now it just really extra hit me. So I'm a little overcome with it. Just because I really have an amazing team. I really wanted to say, first off, congrats to everyone on this panel. Thank you so much to Svetlana. She's my nursing director. She wrote me this. I think she's awesome. She's such an asset for Kravis Children's Hospital. I just wanted to also recognize really all the amazing people I work with that basically allow me to do what I do to help support the team. All of the Kravis Children's nurse leaders, the medical team, like I'm also reading the chat as this is coming. So many people are saying thank you. It's really overwhelming, to be honest. But I'm really blessed to be a part of such an amazing team at Kravis Children's Hospital. And really everyone's support is what helps me keep going to help take the best care of the patients and the staff. So thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you, Tiffany, and I'm glad it's hitting you again. And I hope you read it over and over again when you need some inspiration or when you're having a tough day, and remind yourself how much the people you work with really appreciate and care for you. And don't worry, all of our celebrants, we copy down this whole chat. We share it with you. Say, remember the wonderful things that were said about you. So thank you to our audience for filling that chat with your wonderful praise and thanks. And thank you so much, Tiffany. I'm glad we got to share this star recognition with you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Colette, you stay right there. I'm going to have you close us out. We got two more stories to go. One person couldn't make it, but his team is here, ready to cheer on. We're going to go to that one in a moment. But first, our final guest who's here is Kevin Torreya from the Clinical Command Center, who was also recognized in a star. So thanks to Tasanya Simmons, who submitted this star for Kevin. Colette, I'll let you share.
Absolutely. Congrats, Kevin.
Thank
So
you.
the story goes, Kevin Taraya, an admission planner at the Clinical Command Center, consistently demonstrates professionalism, a positive attitude, and exceptional customer service that creates a welcoming atmosphere and uplifts his colleagues. All of Kevin's interactions are handled with care, empathy, and professionalism as he ensures that every patient is prioritized and assigned to the right level of care at the right time. A PACU colleague writes, quote, Kevin is consistently helpful when it comes to ensuring that patients in the PACU are assigned and moved to their appropriate beds. He is always open to staff suggestions and requests and obliges whenever possible. He always has a pleasant telephone demeanor and exemplifies professionalism. Kudos to him, end quote. We commend Kevin for being a reliable and professional representative of our team and thank him for his outstanding service.
Yeah, really nice. Thank you, Colette. And Kevin, so I went back to this message to find the theme because I saw that you were described as professional 4 times in one brief statement. So how do you approach your work with patients and with colleagues that leads to this reputation as a consistent, reliable, and professional colleague?
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the spotlight, and I'd like to say it's a blessing and an honor to represent the Clinical Command Center. I also extend this award to Throughput and Transit Center because without them, I wouldn't be here for representing and getting this star award. So I believe that it starts with that mindset of being an agent of change. It's beyond learning and applying while on duty, but it's also taking that information that you learn and being creative to do something better, either to yourself, colleagues, or even to the patients. The conversations I had with multiple providers and departments, I built rapport and built that strong relationship. And each day I come in, it feels that I can add more into it and I can actually do a lot more being an efficient and be more accurate in my med assignments. And with each encounter, it's always a conversation with my colleagues and my directors, saying that how can we do better? How can we be more efficient in assigning these beds? How can we facilitate movements between the entire health system, whether it's Brooklyn, Queens, even at Mount Sinai, Maine, which is known to be pretty hot every now and then. So I believe that it's an open mindset to have an ongoing change, and that's why I was honored for this professionalism. So I'll continue to do so, and I'll continue to be better for myself, my colleagues, and for the patients.
Continue to do so, Kevin. I loved it. The agent of change. I think I'm trying to go back. Was it Tony Anderson who was also saying about being an agent of change? And I just love to hear you, like, if you're going to be change, if you're going to make improvement, it takes that bit of vulnerability to say, I can be better. I can do more. And only then, when we see that as a goal for ourselves, do we strive to be better and strive to do more and look for the opportunities for change and improvement. So it's a wonderful mindset to have. And thank you for all you do, Kevin, and to continuously improve and be better and do more through the Clinical Command Center.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Colette, we got one more story. Jason Chan from pharmacy, it was Mount Sinai Health System pharmacy leadership recognized Jason. He's out on PTO right now this week, wasn't able to make it, but his whole team let me know they are here. They want to hear his story. They want to cheer him on in the chat and express their appreciation for Jason. So if you want to read this story, we know they're listening with pride to hear it be read.
Absolutely. Thrilled to recognize Jason Chan. So the pulmonary hypertension team recently reached out to pharmacy for assistance when a delay in the availability of a patient's home care medication was going to delay discharge. Jason Chan went above and beyond, helping coordinate the correct order, facilitating the preparation, and hand delivering this high-risk medication directly to the team so that the patient could go home and not need to stay an extra day in the hospital. This is an example of how Jason consistently steps up while putting the patient first. Thank you, Jason. Your exceptional work is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, thank you, Colette, and thank you to his team who's out there in pharmacy to share this story. And we know you're going to get this recording to watch it, Jason. And I just want to say I think it's excellent that going above and beyond to recognize that someone's at the end of this. It's been an extra night in the hospital. If I didn't find that way to step up and handle this, and having that heart to say, like, I don't want that to happen. I'm going to do everything I can to expedite this, to hand deliver it, to ensure they get this today so that they don't have to spend that night. Speaks to what you must bring in every experience and everything that you do. So thank you, Jason. We look forward to sharing this recording with you and know your team is here proudly supporting you. So thank you, Colette. That is 1 o'clock and we've done it. Season 3 has struck midnight. We have wrapped our episode here today. We're back with season 4, where we will have throughout 2025 another, on average, 240 employee stories to share month after month after month. We look forward to continuing to bring you stories of excellence that are happening all over our health system every single day by remarkable people. For now, I recognize this group, this one collection of incredible people and teams, and say thank you to all of you. And thank you for thanking all of your colleagues who make you able to excel each day as well. Have a wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend. Go Red. Remember, awareness for heart disease in women. Celebrate Go Red Day. And have a wonderful weekend. Oh, we'll play you out. We'll see you next time. Episode 1 of season 4, March 7th. Until then, take care, everyone.